We all know that the ball only responds to the laws of physics and motion that exist at the brief moment of impact. Since what you do after impact can't change the ball flight, does that mean the form of your swing after impact doesn't matter? Absolutely not. Your post-impact movements have zero impact on the result of any shot, but they provide valuable clues as to what occurred prior to impact. Your swing movements before impact does two things. One, it produces the laws of physics and motion that has direct impact on the ball flight. And two, it produces a post-impact look. Optimal movements produce good physics and a certain look. Non-optimal movements produce bad physics and a different look. If the look isn't there, the fundamental isn't there. This video is about one of those post-impact movements, the rehinge. Last year I had the privilege of being inside the ropes at the US Open in San Francisco. These were pictures I took of Tiger as he practiced. At the beginning of the backswing, Tiger incrementally hinged his wrist, and by the time he was in the 3 position, the angle between his left arm and shaft was 76 degrees. By the time he got to the top of the backswing, he had increased this angle to a full 90 degrees. On the downswing, he continued to increase this angle, and when he got to the 5 position, this angle maxed out at 114 degrees. In a short amount of space and time, when he arrived at impact, he unhinged his wrist almost the full amount he had hinged it. This creates a lot of club speed. The power accumulator of the wrist, combined with the other contributing movements of the body, provide a tremendous amount of power. Now let's see how the body moves after impact in order to correctly manage all that speed and power. Here we are in the 9th position when the right arm is parallel to the ground. In this position, Tiger has rehinged the club to almost 90 degrees. When the left arm gets parallel to the ground, the angle between the shaft and the left arm is 100 degrees. From Tiger's left arm parallel position on the downswing to his left arm parallel position on the follow-through, his rehinging after impact was almost the same as his hinging before impact. Is this amount of rehinging common among other tour players? Here are the top 6 ranking players in the world at the end of 2012. Rory McIlroy, Tiger Woods, Bubba Watson, Brandt Snedeker, Justin Rose, and Jason Dufner. Jason Dufner almost reaches 90 degrees, and the others are 90 degrees or more. Here are 6 more notable players: Keegan Bradley, Luke Donald, Mike Bennett, Ricky Fowler, Grant Waite, and Dustin Johnson. Based on this consistent look of all these players, I would say the fundamental is to be close to 90 degrees when your left arm reaches parallel on the follow-through. In order to achieve this important rehinging fundamental, what other movements or form positions do we also need to do? As we look again at the 12 pros, we see other key similarities in their swing. Their arms are extended with the elbows close together, and their wrists are crossed with the gloved hand underneath the other hand. Also notice that the hands and extended arms are lined up with the center of the body because the pros never stop turning through impact. In fact, their hands and arms are in front of the chest at impact, and they maintain this connection to the finish of the swing. Let's take a deeper look at how the pros hinge their wrist. First, you need to understand that the wrists are multi-directional joints. They can move up and down, and they can move back and forth. Which do you think is the primary way the wrists move in golf? Many golfers answer that question back and forth because that action is going in the direction you're hitting the ball. But the correct answer is up and down. During the backswing, you will hinge your wrist up, and on the downswing, you will unhinge them down. The wrists do not go back and forth. As the club goes through impact, they move in a way that allows them to correctly rehinge the wrist in the follow-through. To rehinge, the wrists must be on top of the club just as they were in the address position. As Tiger unhinges his wrist downward, he turns the hips and shoulders toward the target and extends the arms through impact. This action helps him square the club with quiet hands. Yes, you will also see a gentle rolling of the left forearm to get the face of the club in the correct face angle position, but this rolling stops once the wrists have reached their rehinging position. To be clear, the correct action is a simple up and down hinge and not a rolling of the arms. This myth was promoted by the PGA, who believe that you control the curve of the ball by this manipulation of the club face. This is Grant Wade, who Tiger has said he believes Grant has one of the best swings in golf. At the beginning of the swing, Grant's arms are extended and form a triangle with his shoulders. At impact, his arms are again extended and form a triangle with his shoulders. His hands are in line with his belt buckle and the center of his chest. Also, his hands and wrist are already in the re-hinging position. The fact that we can see the back of his left hand is not because of any excessive rolling of the arms or hands, but simply because this connected turn of the body has exposed this view of the hands to the camera. As we continue the swing, the arms remain extended in front of the chest, and by the time the hands are waist high, the camera sees the left hand below the right hand. The majority of amateurs will have their left hand above the right hand at this point in the swing, with their elbows separating. This waist-high position is a key diagnostic position for all golfers. If your left hand is above the right hand at this point, then you will not be able to perform the correct re-hinge. If this is the case, then working on post-impact drills will become a high priority over pre-impact drills. At the ninth position, Grant still has extended arms in front of his chest. His wrists are crossed and he has almost completed a 90-degree re-hinge to his left arm. It should be noted that the angle of the shaft to the right arm will always be less than the angle to the left arm. One of the key swing movements that allow the pros to continue the shoulder turn is to also continue the hip turn. In order to continue the hip turn, the body has to shift to the left foot so it can rotate around a stable left side axis. In the ninth position, Grant's right front pocket is on top of his left foot. The 90-degree angle achieved in the ninth position was created by a specific action that occurs long before arriving in the ninth position. Let's watch Justin Rose as he swings the club just before and after impact. I've drawn a red line waist high, and at this point in the downswing, the toe of the club is pointing up in the air. A swing from here will only have speed and power through impact if the forces of that swing can be successfully absorbed by the upward hinging of the wrist. This upward hinging also requires the toe-up position to be reached before the club reaches waist-high on the follow-through. When you swing at the ball, you need to get the club into the toe-up re-hinge position as fast as you can. And remember, this is not done with an excessive roll of the arm because that would cause the toe of the club to twist over too far and you wouldn't be able to re-hinge. Also notice as Justin goes through impact, he keeps his head and eyes frozen to the ground. He is swinging under his eyes. Another great drill is to hit half shots with a waist-high backswing and a waist-high follow-through. Just swing under your eyes and swing to a pose that looks like Justin. Hold that pose and feel the right arm extended to the target. Also feel how your weight has shifted to the left side and your right knee is moving towards your left knee. This is the 3 to 9 drill. With an 8 or 9 iron, set your club in the 3 position and hinge your wrist till the club is at a right angle. While in that position, hinge the wrist up and down as if you were hammering a post in the ground. Remember the feeling of this action. From there, swing the club to the 9th position and again make sure you have formed a right angle. Hold the 9th position and again hinge up and down just like you did on the 3 position. Next, begin swinging the club back and forth with a relaxed swing, almost letting gravity swing the club for you. As you start the downswing, plan a picture in your mind of how you want to look in the 9th position and simply swing to that pose. Start out with slow swings and then you can begin to increase the speed but maintain the correct form. First, do the drill without a ball and just feel the relaxed swishing action just above the ground. Then do the drill hitting loose tees laying on the ground. Then do the drill hitting tees stuck in the ground. Then tee 3 balls up and do a sequence of no ball swish and then swish the ball. No ball, ball. No ball, ball. In this drill, you want to stand with your feet close together and swing flat-footed. Try not to let your feet come off the ground in the follow-through. With a short backswing, swish the club to a shoulder-high finish. First swish the club at tees and no ball, then repeat the same feeling through the ball. The key is to recreate the sound of the swish. In this drill, you will need a swish stick. Any broken club with the head off is a swish stick. Do not do this drill with a non-broken club with the head still on it. Also, I recommend taping the broken end of the shaft for safety. Grip the club in your left hand and take it back to the 3 position with a right angle formed by the arm and the shaft. Then swish the air at the impact zone just above the ground. Try not to hit the ground. At the end of the swish, you will need to finish in a right angle on the other side with a straight arm. Remember, you are not rolling the arm, but simply hinging and rehinging up and down. As you do this drill, focus on the sound of the swish. It's like you're swatting a bee. This is an excellent drill to do right before the feet together drill.